We got another live mock draft where you are going to make the selections. If you've been here before, you know exactly how it works. We are going to bring up the mock draft simulator. We're going to have you vote on a poll in the chat based on who you think the San Francisco 49ers should draft. And that is how we are going to do it. If you've been here before, this is nothing new, but you guys already know what to do. Drop an SDS in the chat, smash that like button so we can try to get as many people in here as possible. It's a lot of fun when we get a lot of votes on the mock draft, so we can get that popping and we can go from there. But let's get started right now. I'll see you in a sec. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. I got a question. Did you see that? For whatever reason, my intro video, it showed me like 4 frames of the whole thing. Was it the same way for you, or did it play all the way through? We got to get to the bottom of these technical difficulties. I just want to know. So let me know in the chat. And then we'll get started here pretty quickly on the mock draft. And we're gonna see what we get. Gonna see what this mock draft is going to look like, and I'm curious to see who you guys are going to pick. If you are watching this on Twitter, or if you are watching this on Facebook and you want to vote, the poll will be in the chat on YouTube. So that is how you get in on the vote, and you are able to pick who the San Francisco 49ers are going to draft. So just want to make that crystal clear as we try to get more people into the room. But hopefully you guys are having a good day today on Friday. Man, I don't know why this week has just flown by. 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. We had Jaw Joyner on the channel today. I plan to have a couple more prospects on the channel next week, and we'll continue to talk about the draft. And I will also officially be covering the NFL draft, and that is in Green Bay. So I'm really excited about that because this will be the first draft that I've actually covered. I've been able to pretty much check off most of the boxes for off-season activities. Been credentialed to the Senior Bowl. We do the combine, obviously, and the actual draft itself. This will be the first time I will be able to cover boots on the ground, and this will be an interesting one because there is a good chance that whoever is going to be the pick at 11 will be at the draft. I mean, there is a chance. So I could actually get the opportunity to interview that player. So that would be really cool. And it's, we're going to Green Bay. So it's going to be a quite the interesting situation. But I am looking forward to it. There's also a pretty interesting situation that went down probably about an hour or so ago. Um, that is NFL news, and it's involving the Saints. Derek Carr it is starting to sound like he could potentially miss a significant time in 2025. And yes, Derek Carr does not play for the San Francisco 49ers. He plays for the Saints. And you might be asking, if you haven't seen this already, well, how does that impact the 49ers? Well, it impacts the San Francisco 49ers because all of a sudden a team that I didn't really think was going to be in on quarterback might absolutely be in on quarterback at pick 9. Now, whether that's Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart, um, also today, Tyler Shook out of Louisville is meeting with the Saints. I saw Diana Rossini said that a current NFL coach said Tyler Shook out of Louisville is going to be the best quarterback out of this draft class. So I don't know if he's going to be drafted at 10, but I do think that quarterback for the Saints becomes a big time option with Derek Carr's future seriously in doubt. So that benefits the San Francisco 49ers because there's only about, I would say anywhere between 8 to 10 blue chip players in this class. And so we have been saying it all draft season. We want all the quarterbacks to go in the top 10 because that helps the 49ers. They are right outside that basically pool of players who will likely be considered blue chip. So the more quarterbacks that go in the top 10, it pushes more talented players to the 49ers. So that is the hope. We'll see what happens in that regard, but hopefully it translates to something good for the San Francisco 49ers, and we'll see. We'll see. Maybe they trade back still, or maybe they stand pat and take whoever is available. But we shall see what they do. I don't know. I don't know if you saw this, Hendricks. Milroe is going to be attending the NFL draft. I find that to be fascinating. He does not strike me as a first round quarterback, especially seeing him up close and personal at the Senior Bowl. I don't know, but he definitely seems like an elite athlete. He just doesn't seem like an elite quarterback. So I don't know. I think Milrose said he's going to be attending the draft. Um, and you're exactly right, Invader. You don't get invites to the draft unless they really think you're going to be a first round draft pick. So they must have information that suggests that Jalen Milroe will be a first round draft pick. So I would have drafted him in the first round. He strikes me. I felt like Joe Milton was probably a better prospect than Jalen Milroe coming out. And Milton, I don't think it was Milton was he like a 6th round draft pick or something like that? So we'll see. Would I honestly take Shedeur over Jackson or McCord? I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of feeling out on Shedeur. I don't know. He just something about his vibe I don't like, and I don't know. He just strikes me as someone who, if he is going to go up against adversity, I think it might be a challenge for him. So I just not a fan. I'm not a fan of his attitude. I was watching his interview at his pro day, and I thought it was fascinating that he wouldn't allow the interviewer to finish asking the question. He would cut them off to ask his question, to give kind of like a response that felt real, like, you know how the conversation goes around this. I don't know. I'm very kind of like hesitant to take him. Just I don't feel like plays super well within a scheme, and on top of that, I don't know how he'll progress at the next level. It doesn't mean he can't be good. He's a talented quarterback. He has talent, but I don't know. It's not my cup of tea when it comes to someone that I would want, leading a franchise. I totally recognize that you have to have confidence at that position, but there's a fine line between confidence and cockiness, and it definitely comes across a certain way. So it is what it is. Thankfully, the 49ers aren't going to be drafting a quarterback, so it doesn't really matter. So let's get into this draft. Like I said, the more votes we get, the more interesting our draft becomes. So let's get this thing rolling. Let's get our mock draft running on this Friday. And again, I'm not making any of these picks. I might give a suggestion or two, but this is on you. So let's get this thing going. Start her up. And no, we're not going to do any trades on this one. Where'd my draft go? That is a sweet ad. Thank you for that. What is going on? All right. So did they change this? I have no idea. All right. So on the board, Will Campbell, Ashton Genty, Tet McMillan, Tyler Warren. Some blue. Look at that. Blue chippers on the board. How do I see what the actual board looks like, though? That's a great question. Oh, here we go. Wow. Abdul Carter went 9th in this one. Oh, Kelvin Banks? Yikes. Imagine drafting a guard at 7. That's crazy. All right. I'm going to put some names into the chat. And I will, or you guys drop your names in the chat. That's how this works. You put in the prospects that you like, the popular ones. I will drop into a poll, and then that's how we will vote. So I see someone already calling for Genty. I'm gonna put in Will Campbell because if I see Will Campbell there, I'm running to the podium. I see Will Johnson, and we have a spot for one more. I see a call for defensive lineman. So Mike Green potentially available. I've seen people calling for Derek Harmon. He is down the list quite a bit. So you got to tell me, do you want to make that reach? Let me see who else. I see a couple Mike Greens, so I'll throw Mike Green into the mix. My take on Mike Green is that the fact that his stock hasn't dropped, really, I think that's enough to kind of prove that people have done their homework on his off-field situation, and they haven't deemed anything substantial, because I really do think if there was something substantial there, that would have impacted his draft stock. So I see people calling for Mike Green. I'm going to put him in there. But again, just know he does have a bit of off-field situation following him around. But I also, like I said, the way that I'm kind of interpreting it right now is the fact that his stock hasn't dropped. They've definitely done the background checks and done the digging into it. Would have to tell me that he might be clean. So we'll see. And so again, how this is going to work: poll is officially up. I'm going to throw a 30-second timer on the clock. That's going to give you the opportunity for 30 seconds to get your votes in. And then that is how we determine this sucker. All right, now we're on the clock. I think it's going to be pretty straightforward based on what I'm seeing in the chat already. 67% of the votes say Will Campbell. Second place is Mike Green with 22% of the votes. And that looks like it is going to be what we get. 49ers have Will Campbell fall into their lap, and they take Will Campbell. One of the reasons why I would be okay with this, because I think there are some really good edge rushers in this class, and there is a potential to go elsewhere. Ooh, wow. Emeka Egbuka available at 43? Sheesh. That would be a very difficult one to pass up. But so you guys drop some names in the chat. I will add them. I'm adding a Mecca into that, because that would be quite the sight to see him there. But drop some other names that you might like. The 49ers had a 30 visit with Tyleik Williams. That's an interior defensive tackle for you. Darius Alexander, really good. You have Landon Jackson available, Jack Sawyer. TJ Sanders is too low on this list, in my opinion. Someone said Trey Amos at cornerback, so I had Trey Amos. Again, keep dropping names in the chat. Someone said Gray Zabel. I don't know if they would go back-to-back offensive linemen. That feels like potentially a stretch. I feel like they would be like, all right, we got our offensive linemen, and I don't know. So I'm gonna add some defensive linemen. I'm gonna bring in Darius Alexander, because I do think Darius could be a first round draft pick. Based on the board, I think I'm gonna do Tyleik Williams. And we do know that the 49ers have shown interest in him, having him in on a 30 visit. And I'm going to start the poll. So this is where we're at. You have 30 seconds to get your votes in. This is going to be a really interesting one, considering how the board has fallen. The 49ers need a lot of defense. So where are we going to go here? Looks like Emeka has the early lead. Tyleik Williams in second. Who is going to finish in first? Who is it going to be? And we finished, Tyleik at the very end, coming through and beating out Emeka. That would be crazy to see the Ohio State wide receiver still on the board at 43. A lot of Ohio State players available. but we go with Tyleik Williams just because that is definitely need over BPA, but there's still some good players on the board. So now what I need you to do is I need to drop some names in the chat of some guys that you would like here. You have Elijah Arroyo, uh, definitely a high profile receiving tight end in the mix. You still could go edge with Jack Sawyer. You have Alfred Collins. Jonah to me is a guard. I don't know if I would go Jonah here personally. Alec Ayomanor obviously has a ton of ties to the San Francisco 49ers. So he could potentially be an option. Jack Beck, Ratledge, Darian Porter, if you want to go cornerback, Demetrius Knight, Shamar Turner, Andrew Kuba, Scattaboo's on the board. There's still a lot of talent on this board. So let me get some names in here. We've got Darian Porter for cornerback. We've got Arroyo. Elijah Arroyo. Demetrius Knight. And for a interesting addition, I'm going to add Cam Scatabo and see what you guys do with that. All right, get ready. 30 seconds on the clock. And we're going to start now. All right, let's see. Oh, this is going to be a tight one. Oh, wow. It's really, this is close across all four. Oh, boy. You better get your votes in. 3 seconds left. Ending now. Oh, Demetrius Knight. Finishing with 33% of the votes at the buzzer. That was a close one. So far, not looking too bad. Now, this feels like a strong spot to snatch an edge or defensive tackle. So let's take a look at the board. We've got this one's going to be interesting with Makuba. Obviously, very fast safety. Scatabo still on the board. Omar Norman Lott, big fan of his. He had a 30 visit with the 49ers. Fannin had a 30 visit with the 49ers. Keep in mind, 49ers are back on the clock in 13 picks. Kyle Kennard is someone who's interesting to me. I think he has some upside as an edge player. Our edge guys have gotten a little thin. I'm not really seeing a big time impact edge. So we might have to piecemeal the edge together. with some later round prospects, which could still work. So drop your names of guys that you want to see in the chat. It does look like we did miss out on Porter falling to us, Bossa. Where's Oladejo? Is his stock like skyrocketing? Oh wow, Galoti went at pick 73. Oladejo went at pick 69. Yeah, we were talking about this when we did the interview with Oladejo. Like he's in a I don't know if he's going to make it to 75. And I don't know if the 49ers will want to take him at 43. So he's definitely a riser in this class. We were talking about that. How he definitely could be gone. So I'm going to drop some names that I see you guys dropping in the chat. We got Andrew Makuba. I see people calling for the Scat Man. I see. Let me look. I see. There we go. Omar Norman Lott. Keep in mind, we still need interior defensive tackles. I don't think Barron's gone. Barron might be a great target. Yeah, this spot right here, based on how our board is falling, will be a really good spot. We talked to Ja today on the channel. So maybe punting between 113 to 138 on edge based on who's available will be the way to try to maximize the value of this particular board. Do you want Fannin in this mix? With this group, it does feel like so far the chat is strongly leaning towards Makuba, but I'm going to drop Fannin in just because we know the 49ers have ties. And then let's go edge in the next round or two. I think we can punt based on this board the way it's falling. So you got 30 seconds to get your votes in. So far, Omar Norman Lott takes a early lead with 10 seconds remaining. It doesn't look like Makuba will be able to close that gap unless we get a last stretch of votes. The poll is over. Got to be quick with those votes, people. Omar Norman Lott comes away. I'm not going to lie. This is actually turning out to be pretty solid. We got Will Campbell at 11, which you guys know I like Will Campbell, so I'm down with that. Tyleik Williams, I like him as well. He is going to be a solid interior defensive tackle. Demetrius Knight to kind of fill that Dre Greenlaw role. And then Omar Norman Lott to pair with Tyleik Williams. Honestly, not bad. Not bad. And look, Harold Fannin still on the board. So you guys already know how this works. Drop your names in the chat. Who do you want to see? Jacob Parrish is here. Kyle Kennard, Gunnar Helm. We already went linebacker, so probably not Chris Paul. So I see Fannin. Harold Fannin Jr. What else do I see? Ooh, I see some Kyle Kennards in the chat. Kyle Kennard, I was pretty impressed with at the Senior Bowl. Kyle Kennard and TJ Sanders were two guys that I really enjoyed watching at the Senior Bowl. Who else? We got Savion Jones, Jared Ivey. But again, we could probably wait till 138 for these guys. Savion. Let me see some names. All right, Savion Jones. He is ranked at 117, so he's actually right in the perfect range. He might not make it to 138, so keep that in mind. And I'll add one more name for our consideration. Let's do Samson. I do think the 49ers are going to be drafting a running back. All right, the poll is up. Get your votes in. Asapolis. 30 seconds on the clock. And let's see what the votes are looking like. Fannin is in the lead with 50% of the votes. Kyle Kennard in second. Savion Jones in third. Dylan Sampson in fourth. Let's see if we can get a late push by Kennard. Oh, boy. We got the all-time leader in reception yards from a tight end in the FBS history. Harold Fannin Jr. at pick 13, and 138 feels like is the furthest we could go without an edge rusher. So let's see who we got available on the board. Oh, look, Savion Jones right there. He's kind of your Charles Omenihu build, inside out type of guy. We got David Walker available. We have Bairn. I don't know how to say his first name. Sorrell. He was a pretty interesting prospect at the Senior Bowl. But this is probably the latest we could go. Oh, Barron's right here. Barron's a little later. I would say Barron could definitely be in this range right where we're picking right now. I don't think he's 175. I think he's probably a little bit better than that. They still hating on our guy Teddy Buchanan, man. Come on. Get his. That's got to be higher. Billy Bowman. So to recap, we have an offensive tackle, 2 interior defensive linemen, we have a linebacker, and a tight end. So I'm gonna put in Savion because he was just in the last one. Savion Jones, Restrepo on the board. I think a lot of people are scared off by his 40 time right now. Zaw Frazier out of UTSA. Sanker at safety. You got our guy Jackson Slater. If you want to go center, David Walker. Zy Alexander. You got to drop some names in the chat, baby. So drop those names. I'm going to throw them in. I'm going to add Jonas Sanker. And Zaw Frazier. So we got 2 edge players to pick from. We have 1 safety, 1 cornerback. And if you want running back, we can definitely wait on that pick. Also, Noel, a little bit later as well. So I got to start the timer. But right now, it looks like a clear winner so far with Savion Jones. It looks like it's not going to be too much of a race on this one. So yeah, it's pretty official. We have chosen. All right. Let's get out of here. So now we're back on the clock at 1:47. And we still have some pretty good options available. So I'm going to go. We're going to throw in Za again. Y'all like Noel. I like Noel as well. Noel Williams. Who's saying Harvey? RJ Harvey Jr. That's a running back. And do we put Jadon Blue in this one? Will this be our running back or cornerback round? All right. Poll is live. You got 2 cornerbacks, 2 running backs. Keep in mind the 49ers will be back up on the clock at 160. So a couple of these guys in this tier could very likely fall to us. So keep that in mind. All right. 20 seconds remain. Noel Williams out in front to start. Will anyone challenge him, or will he end up on the San Francisco 49ers? 5 seconds to get your votes in, and it looks like the 49ers will be getting a Cal Bear in this mock draft, and it will be Noel Williams. I like the pick for sure. He is a long, rangy corner. He's also a returner as well. Consensus All-American. Doing pretty solid here. So this could be an option where, wow, we still have safety available. We have Jonas Sanker available. Jackson Slater's available. Aeneas Peebles is available. If we want to go edge with Sorrell, that probably means that also Barron is available if we want to go edge again, which I don't think is a bad idea. Joyner. And there's some good options. That's what I'm saying. Like, this draft might not be top heavy, but there's a crap ton of depth. There is so much depth in this class. All right. So I see a Pat Bryant. I like Pat Bryant. Wide receiver. I see, again, you got to drop the names in the chat, but I'm going to go Jackson Slater, center. So he would be our center of the future. I like the Tyler Barron. I would take Tyler Barron here. It would definitely be in my consideration. I could throw in Jonas Sinker. We can move on from that. Let's see. But someone throw out a name. Elijah Roberts, edge potentially. We still got running backs on the board. Oh, you want to go Kyle McCord? I love Kyle McCord. I've been saying it a long time. I think he's solid. And I saw it firsthand against Cal. Yeah, I'm not going to put a quarterback though. But I'm a big fan of Kyle McCord. I've told you guys before, like I was on the sideline for Cal versus Miami versus Cam Ward and Cal versus Syracuse with McCord, and I came away pretty damn impressed with Kyle McCord. Like almost to the point where I was like, I think McCord might spin it a little bit better than at least that's how it came across to me in those two games. All right. The poll is up. This is going to be interesting to see where we go here. Oh, it is. What this might be a close one. It's bouncing all over the place. Jackson Slater currently in the lead with 36, but that could change in a hurry. Pat Bryant, Taylor Barron, Jaden Blue all tied with 20% of the votes. All right, let's see. It looks like Slater is pulling away. And he will get the W. So the 49ers grab their center of the future. But this also means that we're probably going to miss out on a lot of those guys. Yeah, there they go. Yeah, we lost them. We lost our boys. Oh, Barron goes 2 picks at 225 to the Arizona Cardinals. You hate to see it. Pat Bryant at 223. You hate to see it. Shiloh Sanders. But, I mean, there's still some decent players here. Ja Joyner. Ja Joyner, who we just had on today. Nick Nash, 49ers local pro day guy. Teddy Buchanan. Teddy B still on the board. Raheem Sanders. Kone. There's still some good names on this list. Are we going? We're going to throw Teddy in the mix. I'll do it. Don't tempt me with a good time. Teddy B. Absolutely. What about running back? This doesn't feel like a 49ers draft because we haven't gone running back. Should we go Jordan James? Marcus Yarns. Sanders. Taj Brooks. Someone said tight end. I don't think we. Oh no, we took a tight end. We took Fannin. Marks. Oh, we got battling. This feels like the running back spot. Keep in mind, we're back on the clock in about 20 picks. Jordan James. And I'll do Sanders. Raheem Sanders. So we got 3 running backs and Teddy B. Let's see who wins out here. There's probably a good chance there will be a running back. One of these running backs will be on the board at 227. So let's see. Well, Teddy B has got the lead to start. But I wonder if he finishes in the lead or not. Daddy. I'm on live. And it is Teddy B. See, my son came in here to reprimand you if you didn't pick Teddy B. And let's see, where is he? There we go. Oh, the Niner shirt was on my daughter. She came in to chase my son. He was coming in here to say, if you don't pick Teddy Buchanan, you're not about that life. All right. So it does still look like we have running backs. No, we lost all our guys. We waited too long. It looks like we lost. No, we didn't. Oh, there we go. I was like, oh no. We lost out on our running backs. So I'm going to add Taj Brooks. I like Yarns, but I might be alone on that island. Joe Marks, I think I saw someone talked about. Anyone else? Someone saying Montrell. All right. First come, first serve. And then if we just look at the overall board. All right. Since no one's dropping a name, we're just going to go here. All right. You got 3 options, all running backs. 3 options, all running backs. Who's it going to be? Well, that's pretty easy. That one's pretty easy. Congratulations, Taj Brooks. You are a San Francisco 49er. All right. We going kicker? Who we going with right here? Oh, there he is. 49ers on hand to look at the Miami kicker. Go Craig Woodson. All right, let's go. Who are you guys dropping in here? Should we just go unanimous? Craig Woodson. I feel like he would be a great late round target for sure. We could go wide receiver. We went through this whole draft without a wide receiver. All right. For sake of timing, let's just go Mr. Woodson. Where are you? Why can't I find him? There he is. Or should we vote? I see people wanting to vote. All right, fine. I'll vote. There you go. 3 names. Vote it. I spelled don't mind the spelling. Not a big deal. Don't mind that. All right, looks like it's pretty unanimous. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at our haul. Will Campbell at pick 11, Tyleek Williams at 43, Demetrius Knight at 75, Omar Norman Law at 100, Harold Fannin Jr., Savion Jones, Noah Williams, Jackson Slater, 2 California Bears. We got 3 California Bears. This is really just to make me happy. The fact that we got 3 Golden Bears, that would be phenomenal. I'll save that one. We got Jackson Slater. We got Center of the Future. So if I would say that one of the beauties of this one is Will Campbell probably playing left guard to start his career. And then Slater would be backup center, depending on if he can take over Brendel. Taj Brooks, running back depth. We could snag some wide receivers, undrafted free agents. And then what else? I think we addressed defensive line. I would want to go edge probably a little bit sooner. I probably would have went edge at 75 and then punted on linebacker. But still fills a need and all that good stuff. So, not bad. Not too bad. So, good job to you guys. I'm still manifesting one of these live mock drafts where we have a lot of people in here, so we could get the poll really active to see those votes change. But we're going to get it before the draft, I swear. Maybe I should stop doing the live mocks super late on Friday nights. But we'll see. We'll see. I appreciate everyone who hopped in on this one, voted, and participated. Appreciate y'all. We're less than 2 weeks away from the NFL draft, so it's going to start to get serious here. All that good stuff. So I appreciate everyone. As always, I'll see you guys probably on Monday, barring any news. And we'll do it again. We'll probably damn near might do one of these every day up until the draft. We'll see. But appreciate y'all. I'm out for now. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see you.